So we're to the part where we're obviously putting our valve train together. As you can see, it's most of the way complete. Basically, I just wanted to point out some stuff that gave us some issues and kind of how to do it. If you're using the Trick Flow one piece, little rod guide or whatever, you have to try to obviously center the rocker arm and make sure these are as centered on their valves as possible. But it gets tricky because you'll get these all lined up loose where you want it, and obviously I'd be doing this normally with another one over here and kind of rock the two back and forth till they both look centered and the play in them is centered. And then you take them off and then you torque this. Well, when you go to torque this, you put the torque on it and this whole plate rotates or will shift to whatever side. And then your rocker your roller tip's no longer even remotely centered on the valve stem. So basically our little trick for doing this was to put these on, get it all centered. Jeremy would hold it, and then I would just very gently torque each side, just back and forth. So he was holding it and kind of trying to feel if it moved. And then we had it still move after we did that, and we found we took some of this leftover ARP fastener assembly lubricant and we put it on the bottom of the studs where it meets the guide plate here, and that helped a lot to keep it from rotating. But he still needed to apply the pressure, and I was going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The one-piece guide plates kind of suck just because obviously you don't really have a lot of adjustability in them. But so yeah, that's kind of gave us some issues with this. We're just gonna whip the rest of this together. So we installed a bunch of stuff like the upper intake and the fuel rail and put the valve covers on and stuff, just sort of mocking everything up. I forgot to record it. Honestly, the majority of today was just spent this intake because we fricked up trying to tap this hole for the ACT sensor, and we took it to a local machine shop or engine shop, whatever you want to call it, and they were able to help us out really fast. Actually, they just helped us out right there with it. Got that all in there and it's ready to go. Then we just spent a lot of time cleaning this lower intake because this is a GT40 blower from an old Explorer, and the guy we bought it from must have had it sitting around for quite some time because a lot of mud daubers had moved in and packed all the holes full of mud. And so we spent a really long time just blowing everything out, cleaning it, chasing threads and cleaning them so that we could actually put bolts in the thing, and that took a long time. So actually throwing it on there didn't take very long. But yeah, we got our new injectors in, new 30-pound injectors. So basically the game plan now is to install the accessories and whatnot up front here. Actually get this installed because this isn't installed, but install the accessories and then try to put it in the car, or well, for sure off the stand after that. So because then we'll take and put the trans on and stuff. I want to try to put it all in at once, but need to figure out how the accessories go on because I kind of forgot and I didn't really do a good job of keeping track of that. It shouldn't be that bad though. We gotta take the old engine mounts out and put the new ones and get those ready. And we're pretty much ready to set it in. We have all of our wiring functional. Yeah, we need to like tape it up and stuff, but it's done. It's functionally there. Just a little bit of an update. We're probably pretty much done for the day, and we need to go to O'Reilly's for some stuff. He's gonna make one last ditch attempt to save the transmission.
I don't want the zip tie fix to be the real fix.
But it's so good.
Yeah. No.
Dude, this thing, it's in there. What?
I'd like to bolt something on there.
You don't need to. It would stay in there, I'm telling you.
You don't even need that.
That's just a dirt cake.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's just a dirt cake. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of dirt cake stuff. Whoa, is this whole thing?
Yeah, it's because that leaked And it ate all the stuff.
Dang. Anywho, that's what we're up to. Today we have... I've been doing a terrible job recording, just because I've been forgetting. But we put the alternator on, the alternator bracket, and the tensioner. Got the power steering bracket sitting there, and AC bracket. We can't really do any more with that until it's in the car. We changed the rear main seal, or we got the flywheel on, and we're about to put the pressure plate on. So we're gonna basically just keep going with that, get the pressure plate on, put the trans bell housing on. And I'm not sure if we're gonna try to put it in there with the trans on it, or if we're just gonna put it in there with the bell housing on it. We haven't really decided on that one yet. I guess we'll continue on with this and get the pressure plate on and clutch and all that in. So I forgot to record again, but we didn't really do anything too exciting other than finish that up. Got the pressure plate and clutch on and bell housing. Put the starter on, and he's messing with some of the wiring for the starter right now. And now we gotta flop it in here. I'm not sure when or how the headers will come into play. Like, should put them on the engine now, or kind of get it halfway in there and then try to put them on. I'm not really sure. I'm worried if I put them on, they'll just get in the way. I guess I'm not sure. So I'm gonna kind of play it by ear, and we're pretty much gonna stuff this thing in the car now. So actually, this will probably be the last video of this episode of engine reassembly. And the next episode of this build will be having it in the car, and then probably the first fire, you think?
It's general stuffulation.
Yeah. Yeah, the next video will be us with it in, and probably the first fire, which should be exciting. Okay, as part of our assembly thing, we just pushed it on here. We're gonna put the transmission in and the rest of the drivetrain. It all went pretty good, actually. Pushing it up here was not as bad as I thought it would be. This time, we're not actually gonna fire it yet, but we're going to in this video. But we're just checking the computer and making sure when we turn the key forward, the Holly actually pops on. So, you ready? Oh,
Something's happening.
lightage.
Before my TPS auto set, before startup. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So kind of a jump in video, but we got that kind of configured for what we have going on. So we're gonna still do our first start, try to set the timing and see what happens. So we're gonna push this outside or open the door or something and get that rolling. So we tried to start it, or not even start it. We just cycled the key and realized we couldn't hear the fuel pump. It's not kicking in. So we don't understand, because we checked our wiring before and it was right. And now we're trying to see if it's the Holly being stupid. Yeah, we'll be back and make another attempt once we get this stupid fuel pump figured out.
Well, in further angering us with the Holly, we couldn't figure out why our fuel pump relay wouldn't kick in. This has just been hanging down there. It didn't even get beat up. And this little thin black wire just snapped right out and came out of that relay socket. So
we're just gonna try to figure out.
yeah, we're gonna, I mean,
Have to kind of jerry rig it, I guess.
what are you gonna do with that? Because it's broke. So whoa, she ran.
You might have to finish.
I think we're really retarded now.
Well, I should backtrack. Obviously, there's been a lot of skipping in the video here. I've been trying to figure this thing out, why it won't run right. It's been fouling plugs and doing whatever, and it's super hard to start. But we realized we could set the startup timing to 0 degrees, and it would start easier. So, I don't know, after looking at it and struggling with all this, we decided to check to make sure that we had the balancer marked in the right spot for 0 degrees. You can see there it says 0, 10, whatever. But there's also other graduations. This is actually, it's my bad and really not good for the thing. We've been running at insane timing because it's off. As you can see, it's supposed to be at TDC. And this is our bore scope that we just picked up to check this. And it's, I mean, there's the top of the block right there. So we're way off. And the way I set it was I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll watch the intake and exhaust valve, and then when I see that they're both closed, I assumed it would be the next, like, 0 for top dead. I should have put more thought into it, but I guess it happens. And we don't do any damage to the engine. I mean, that's probably our problem. I bet you if we get this figured out that the car will actually run.
Yeah, it turns out it's hard to start if you got about 50 degrees of advance in the rig.
Oh shit.
But I guess you live and learn. So we'll be back and we're gonna basically turn this over, get the correct spot set, the bore scope, and then try to fire it up. But we also have the real Holley, or the real intake coming, the Holley System X. All right, just thought I'd update. Part of me didn't want to make this update because I felt so stupid, but it's like, well, you gotta, if you're making a video on starting it, you gotta tell people what you did. So yeah, if you have one of those with the tons of different marks on it, because how many marks does it have on there?
I think there's at least 3 sets.
There's at least 3 different sets, and I chose the wrong one. Pick the right spot on the balancer using the bore scope, so we know which of the bajillion different spots is actually top dead. So we have that set. I set timing, and we tried to start it. We just did a real quick hit of the key, and it fired up. So basically, we're going to try to unfrick everything and bring this idle back down and try to maybe let the computer actually learn a little, since that's what it's supposed to do. I forgot to record, but it's running right now. It seems to be doing pretty good. It's sitting at its target idle. Running pretty good. I think that obviously right now it's just sitting on its, I mean, that's just the cam. That's what it's gonna sound like. Oh man, this is so satisfying after all of this. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the way the cam sounds back there. It's just chopping.
Oh yeah, you're right, it is. It's like super tempted to just like back it out, but I know I don't got much for brakes.
Oh yeah, we don't have brakes.
We got like 40% brakes.
Yeah, that's a good thing you brought that back up. So anyway, we're gonna take it for its first test drive. Obviously it's pretty much completely untuned. So we're gonna see how it goes. It's gonna be rough. It is not the most drivable even coming up to the house. But you gotta do it. Oh, we're like out of gas.
Not bad?
Nah, we can go down. Better.
So I am now logging, and I'm gonna watch what's happening. It came back, but that's what's happening with the acceleration.
I guess we're gonna go down. Man, she sounds so much different. You know the way it sounds with the X-Pipe? I love it. In the headers.
The old off idle, we just spiked it again up to like 17.
Which side the fuel door is on.
Oh, look at that rig.
Is it on the other side? Fuel door?
I don't remember. I thought it was on the driver's side.
I don't think it is.
Oh wait, no, you're right. It's not. It's on this side.
Okay. Really hope it starts.
Yeah, it's fine in idle. There it is.
Different. Oh, it's like spot on. Speedometer 50. Like, when can I give it beanage? Like, how much beanage can I give it? Or not much, because you can't see anything.
I mean, I have no idea what it's up to. I don't think you're gonna hurt it. I think whatever we got in there in terms of the fuel map is pretty freaking conservative. So as a result, if it gets, it's not gonna go open. I don't think it'll run closed loop, so you'll just throw a lot of fuel at the problem.
I'll give it the babiest of little pulls here.
Works.
Yeah. Oh geez, there's deer everywhere.
Missing really.
Wasn't exactly lacking power.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Yep. Wow.
What?
I was just kind of playing with it. She's just right there. It's less than ideal. Really quick.
All right.
Want to get out and line me up?
So our first ride's done with it, and I don't know, I'm really happy with how that went. I mean, we got a lot of tweaking and tuning to do. It's completely untuned, just sort of running off of whatever the Holly computer's doing, but it did really well. So I'm very happy with how it did, and basically now I guess that'll probably conclude the infamous first start and dry ride video that started months ago, like a month ago, I should say.
It's hard.
Yeah, life is hard when you're stupid. So probably button that video up here. I don't even know what kind of video it's going to be because there's so many like weeks and whatever going on. But figured it out. It ran well. I don't know what the next video will bring. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed watching us and our struggles. And putting all this together and getting it to work. And leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe if you think we earned it. So, see you in the next one.